story you're about to see is true.
As we speak today, an alternate slate of electors in the contested states is going to vote, and we're going to send those results up to Congress.
We had over 100 congressmen and senators on Capitol Hill ready to implement the sweep.
The impropriety of creating an unauthorized slate of electors and potential legal jeopardy. The creation of unauthorized, unofficial, and potentially fraudulent slates of electors during the 2020 U.S. presidential election represents an improper and unlawful break from the established electoral college process. Unlawful and unprecedented actions. The creation of these alternate slates of electors for Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, New Mexico, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin was not only unauthorized, but also disregarded the legal framework and processes that our country has relied upon for generations. These actions sought to undermine the integrity of the electoral college process and introduce false or illegitimate votes into the counting procedures. According to reports, individuals involved in these fake elector efforts, including Dr. Eastman, were aware that their actions were not legal. Dr. Eastman had previously expressed disagreement with a colleague's proposal regarding the vice president's power to choose which electoral votes to count. This indicates a deliberate disregard for legal constraints and an awareness of the impropriety of their actions. Participants and associations, various Republican organizations and individuals were associated with or connected to these alternate slates of electors. In Arizona, for instance, individuals such as current State Rep. Jake Hoffman, former State Rep. Anthony Kern, and current Arizona GOP Chair Dr. Kelly Ward were among those involved. Similarly, in Michigan, 16 Republicans falsely declared former President Trump as the winner of the election, as the actions were not officially endorsed. Potential legal jeopardy. The creation and submission of fraudulent elector certificates carry serious legal implications. Participants could face charges such as election fraud, forgery, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice. Participants could potentially face imprisonment. The consequences of these unauthorized actions extend beyond legal jeopardy. They led to the violent events of January 6, 2021, at the United States Capitol. The report highlights the destructive nature of these actions, and the need to understand how they transpired to address the resulting damage adequately. Such actions undermine public trust in the electoral process, weaken democratic institutions, and can have far-reaching consequences for the stability of the nation. In conclusion, the creation of unauthorized and potentially fraudulent slates of electors during the 2020 U.S. presidential election stands as a clear violation of the established electoral college process. Participants involved in these actions must be held accountable for their actions to uphold the rule of law and protect the integrity of our democratic system. In addition to potential charges such as election fraud, forgery, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice, it is worth considering the application of RICO, Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, to address the organized nature of these activities. RICO charges provide a powerful tool to hold all actors and groups involved accountable, dismantling the networks that perpetrate such improprieties. By utilizing RICO charges, we can send a strong message that attempts to undermine our electoral process will be met with severe legal consequences. The rule of law must prevail to restore public trust, ensure a fair and transparent electoral process, and safeguard the democratic foundations of our nation.
White House counsel's office told people, including Trump's White House chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and his top lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, White House counsel's office explicitly told them that their fake elector scheme was not legal. Also, we learned that the Trump campaign lawyers all bailed on the scheme, made sure they themselves had nothing to do with it because they too believed it was illegal. So Republicans who took part in the scheme at the state level, at least some of them, felt duped into doing it and now say, now that they realize Trump's lawyers knew it was illegal, boy, they wish they hadn't taken part. The committee also turned up evidence that some of the fake electors asked the Trump campaign to please cover their legal costs in case they were sued or arrested and charged with a crime for having participated in the scheme. We also learned today that the National Republican Party, the RNC, helped with this part of the scheme. The Republican Party chair, Ronna Romney McDaniel, testified that the Republican Party helped put the fake slates of electors together. They helped the Trump campaign in this illegal effort. Bizarrely, we also learned that the fake electors in Michigan had a plan to hide out overnight inside the Michigan State Capitol, so they'd be there in the morning and able to sign their forged certificates inside the state Capitol, even if nobody wanted to let them in. Even more bizarrely, we learned that the Trump campaign had trouble physically getting the forged elector certificates to Washington in time for the fake certificates to potentially be used on January 6th. Nevertheless, apparently, or maybe because they were having trouble with it, I don't know, apparently, Republican U.S. Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin offered that he would hand courier the fake certificates to Vice President Pence on January 6th itself.
What did he say? He said we can't enter.
What I said was, for the Capitol Commission, for the governor's office, for the Speaker of the House, for the Speaker of the Senate, the Capitol is closed unless you have an officer that conducts business today, or if you are taking part in the Electoral College process. Anybody else is not permitted to come in.
They are here to
the electors are already here. They've been checked in.
They're also electors.
Capitol's closed. All 16 electors that we've been advised by the governor's staff that we're going to be here to vote in the Electoral College have been checked in. They're already here.
But these are the rest of the electors.
I understand. But the Capitol is closed. Everybody is permitted.
Captain. The electors are also, the GOP electors are also on the governor's certificate of ascertainment.
I'm not going to get into a political debate. I'm following orders.
It's not a political debate.
Okay.
It's the official sealed document. There's certificate.
This shameless episode of a lawyer trying to Jedi mind control this high-ranking police officer, who was actually prepared for the fraudulent onslaught of the fake electors scheme, is breathtaking to behold as evidence of the Michigan fake electors' criminality. It is also one of the most unbelievable video recordings of the many election-related crimes perpetrated on the American people and against the peaceful transfer of power following Trump's 2020 election loss. This will be a prosecutor's powerful bit of evidence if and when the fake electors cases are criminally charged and adjudicated in a court of law.
All right, thank you, Lieutenant.
You're welcome. Thank you.